Good day, Internet. This is DTNS Live for Friday, May 23rd, 2025. From Studio Animal House, I'm Sarah Lane.
In Studio 7 in Los Angeles, I'm Tom Merritt.
From Columbus, Ohio, I'm Robb Dunewood.
And I'm the show's producer, Roger Chang.
DTNS Live is made possible by live listeners. But the listeners are alive. They may or may not be listening live. Anyway, thanks to all of you, including Brad, Kevin Morgan, Paul Thiessen, and new patrons, Brett, Guy, Sumanth, and Alex.
Oh my goodness gracious, we got 4 new patrons.
Yeah, the fantastic 4 new patrons.
4 for Friday.
Awesome. Oh my goodness. I would like to know what your superpowers are. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Please
Thank
write
you, Brett,
it.
Guy, Sumanth, and Alex. Also, welcome everyone, whether you have superpowers or not, to DTNS Live. This is the show where we all discuss the tech news together to all understand it a little bit better. How's everybody doing? Robb Dunewood, how you doing?
I'm doing great. About to go celebrate my birthday right after I get done.
Oh, happy
for this
birthday,
show.
Robb Dunewood.
So,
Happy
29
birthday.
and Aw.
I'm going to be 29 too, Sarah.
Well, you know, we're all 29. Don't you
Again.
love how when you get to a certain point, everyone's like, "Oh, it's your birthday! Yay.
You made it.
You made it!"
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you got going on? Stuff with the fam?
Going to go have dinner, and then we're going to go see Mission Impossible
Oh, well,
on the IMAX.
everybody says
yeah.
it's very good. By everybody, I mean Lamar Wilson, because he always sees everything before me.
Yeah, he said he said it's excellent. So
I saw
wanna check it
Lamar singing its praises too, and it's bringing it in the box office. Like pre-sales were pretty strong, so people are going to see it.
It's definitely something to stay and watch.
Well, I think as we all kind of talk more and more about like, at what time do you go to, what is the movie that makes you want to go to the theater and buy overpriced popcorn and soda and, all that stuff. There are those movies that still do that. Yeah. So
and I just want to see the entire movie is in IMAX. I want to see it in IMAX. I want to go see what that looks like because I can't get that at the house. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Well, happy birthday, Robb. And thanks for being with us on the show today. Speaking of being with us on the show today, we have tech news to talk about. So let's get into it with the quick hits.
The President of the United States of America posted that iPhones sold in the U.S. might face a 25% tariff unless Apple moves production to the United States of America. That warning follows reports of Apple planning to shift iPhone production out of China to India, boosted by investments like Foxconn's new Chennai plant.
Discord says it's developing features like AI-powered conversation summaries and enhanced forums to improve knowledge sharing on large servers. The goal is to make it easier for newcomers to navigate long, unstructured chats without overwhelming human moderators. Discord says it's focused on accessibility and reducing friction in surfacing useful information.
The U.S. Federal Trade Commission says it won't block Microsoft's 2023 acquisition of Activision Blizzard, citing a lack of public interest in pursuing the case post-merger. This follows a failed FTC appeal to overturn a judge's decision not to halt the deal.
Who thought they had a chance?
I mean, at this point, it feels
It's
like,
been 2.5 years.
We're taking crazy pills.
October 2023, yeah. Thursday, we mentioned that Mozilla announced it would shut down the Read It Later service Pocket on July 8th. However, it may yet get a reprieve. Digg co-founder Kevin Rose posted on X that Digg would be interested in buying Pocket from Mozilla.
Okay.
The price is right.
I use Pocket, so I got to go to something else. So if he keeps it going, I'll be happy.
It brings some goodwill. Could feed into Digg well. I get it.
Bluesky has a new verification system letting notable and authentic individual accounts apply for verification through an online form. Organizations can also become trusted verifiers, granting them the ability to verify other accounts. The feature started in testing with a select group of organizations, including the New York Times, Wired, and The Athletic, for its wider release yesterday.
Are we notable? Are we notable enough? Should we do this?
We're authentic.
Let's all do this. I feel
like we're
definitely
authentic and also notable.
Yeah, I'm going to do it.
Notably authentic.
Like let's not sell ourselves short here.
Yeah, let's all do it. Let's see put Blue Sky to the test.
Yeah, Blue Sky. Yeah. All right. We're cool.
Right.
Pay attention to us. Sony's new $160 GP-VP-T3 shooting grip adds a removable Bluetooth remote, making it easier for, if you're a solo creator, say, to control cameras from up to 33 feet away. It's compatible with Alpha and ZV series cameras and supports up to 3.3 pounds and doubles as a mini tripod. Kind of cool if you're kind of doing stuff on your own. The remote is sold separately for $90 and has customizable controls for shutter, video, zoom, focus, and more. All right, let's talk about oversharing because we've all done this in the past, and we all know people who do it more than us. Lance Whitney over at ZDNet posted an article titled "Oversharing Online: 5 Ways It Makes You an Easy Target for Cybercriminals." Now, you might say, "Oh gosh, I'm not really doing any of that stuff." But let's go through what Whitney has. Identity theft. So this is, if you have a social media, you might be just by being on social media, revealing your name, your birthday, your address, all stuff that can be ripe for impersonation. Social engineering and financial scams obviously happen. Deepfakes and voice cloning is happening more and more, especially with AI tools. Damage to your reputation. Maybe, something gets leaked out about you that either is true or not true, but it does, maybe it hurts, that new job that you're trying to get. And then my personal favorite, sharenting risks. You might say, what's sharenting? It is parenting, but when you share too much stuff about your kids, and sharenting makes them able to be doxxed in some way.
Let me reset the algorithm. It's not my birthday, and I'm not going out to a birthday dinner after I get done recording the show.
Why would you do that? No, of course not.
Of course, yeah, I'm not doing it.
Where are you not going for your dinner again?
I'm not going to see the Tom Cruise movie.
No. You're across town doing something else completely differently. All kidding aside, I think that I want to say the collective we, but I think people really do use social media very differently. For example, if I were to post a photo of my dog on my dog's Instagram, and I have the option of, saying like, here's where I posted the photo. I don't do that anymore, but I used to. 10 years ago, I was on Foursquare all day, every day. It's like, I went into this coffee shop. I'm here right now. It didn't feel scary to me. Now, we know that, and you can still do that, and it doesn't have to feel scary, but we know now that all that stuff is going to create a version of you that if somebody wants to be nefarious, they can learn a lot about you, your habits, where you live, what you do, what you drink, who your dog is, all that stuff. And I wonder how much it really behooves us to even use that stuff anymore.
Well, I would say during the time of Foursquare and people just, social media posting where they are and where, one of the things at least I heard at the time is like, you want to be very careful about that, because if someone knows you're not in town and they do know where you live, then you're subject to at the time it was burglary. It wasn't identity theft. It's like they know where you are. They know your
they
patterns.
know that they can break into your house and you're not there.
Because
and most people
around.
Considered that to be worrying too much.
Yeah. And well,
at
and
the
that,
time, back
at the
in
time,
like 2007.
Well, no, and I brought this up. I remember bringing this off. It's like, aren't you? I remember at the Revision 3 offices, like, aren't you all a little worried that you're maybe putting too much information? And most people's like, no, like,
And
I know
honestly,
the people.
I don't think it was as much of a concern back then because fewer people were using the internet. It's the same reason message boards were so much more fun, or Twitter itself was so much more fun in the early days, because there weren't as many people on it.
Yeah.
So the consequences weren't as wide ranging. Now everyone is on all of the internet all the time, and I don't think there's zero risk to the burglary thing, Roger. But I think there was almost no risk back then, and now it's much more of a risk, the social engineering and the scamming thing, where things that I would have said in 2007, maybe I wouldn't say now, not just because, I do this show or whatever, but because I'm like, oh yeah, I don't want people taking that stuff and turning it into some kind of social engineering scam. I feel like I'm pretty good at catching those sort of things, but nobody's infallible. Why give them the extra ammunition?
And
one of the things that I have that I've done with both my daughters and myriads of nieces and nephews is, why does the internet need to know that?
Yeah.
Why does the internet need to know that? Usually when it is about where they are in real time, because I have a problem with you taking a picture of something, letting somebody know where you are, or flat out telling somebody where you are, and they're of no consequence to there's no reason for them to know that. So I've just been a little on the more protective side of that as a parent, that you don't need to let the internet know where you are in real time. You let your parents know, you let your sister know, you let your best friends know, but the internet doesn't need to know where you are. So I have, since these tools have come out, have preached against there's just no reason to tell everybody where you are in real time.
Well,
I remember.
Go ahead, Roger.
Oh no, I just remember initially on Facebook, when I started on Facebook, the kind of the general zeitgeist was trying to get as many contacts, many friends, as many connections as you could. So you just sort of accepted everyone that wanted to be your friend, whether or not you actually knew them. And I remember that there was sort of a game we had in the office, like, oh, how many people you have, every day, and it was sort of a contest. Now, when I look back, I was like, maybe I should have just sort of whittled it down when I had the chance.
I don't think you should feel bad about that. Like, that was new. The idea of being able to be in touch with people you didn't know was still new. I mean, it was new in the 90s too, but like Facebook, Friendster before that, it was thrilling. It was like, oh my gosh, I can talk to people I never would have been able to talk to before. That's not the case anymore. In 2025, people are like, there's too many people out there that I could talk to. I don't need to talk to everybody anymore.
Well, going back to the idea of, do you tell people where you are when you check into a place, whether it's, an Instagram or a Foursquare. Yeah, I mean, Foursquare is very different now, but that idea, I remember there was a point where people were like, this seems dangerous. So only check in as you're leaving. Mm-hmm. So then, if someone is like, oh, I'm going to come find you, you're already gone. So it was sort of
and
like
the latergram, right? Where you don't post the thing until you're gone from the place. So even if people figure out where you were, it's
I'm not inviting you to come have coffee with me. I'm just saying that I was at the coffee place earlier.
Right.
But that has also proved to be an issue because it's data collection.
Yeah.
So, even if you're not there anymore and you don't feel physically in harm's way, there is a profile that can be built of you.
Well, let's say you post that coffee shop regularly. You always post it later, not while you're there, but then someone gets enough other data to go to a family member, and say like, oh yeah, no, I'm with Sarah at this coffee shop, because they know that's what you always post. And the person they're talking to, your mother, your sister, your grandpa, whatever, is like, oh yeah, well they must be, how else would they know Sarah goes to that coffee shop?
Yeah.
So
every little specifically
bit can be used. Yeah.
I mean, the most, I don't want to say egregious, but the most common one I see is when people post their children's sporting athletic event. And they say, hey, we met over at whatever, but you can deduce the school because the name of the team is on the jersey or it's in the scoreboard. You can build a profile, where their kids go to school. And then unfortunately, depending on who or who is actually looking at it, you surreptitiously build, a sort of a dossier on an individual.
Although I think this is all important stuff to think about. How much do most people need to worry is always a good question. Like if you're a high value target, yes, of course. But kids sharing that your kid goes to a school, I don't know that that's the kind of information that is like, oh, they would have never been able to know that. And also, who doesn't need to know that? Like, there are lines in there, right? I'm not even saying I know what those lines should be, but I think we can overreact to this stuff too.
I mean, there have been cases where I've had, friends of my, coworkers of my wife who've had issues with people because of, say some domestic acrimony or whatever.
That's a whole different situation.
Yeah.
But
that is an instance where you have a specific reason to worry about.
But like at that point in time, you have to reevaluate, and rather than just scrambling all the time, you just want to be a little more thoughtful about what
definitely,
you are.
Definitely. I'm not trying to say there aren't plenty of examples of that sort of thing. That is a high value target in that particular instance, but most people may not have that.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on your situation, but think it through, basically.
I'll talk out of the other side of my mouth. When we were at conferences, I post where I'm at all the time because that's kind of the point. I want people to know, come up, hey, here's Rob. I'm easy to find that because I'll usually have a hat on and I'm taller than everybody except for Jason Howell.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, I'm behind Jason Howell, right?
No,
but I think that's a good example
Rob.
of like, now it's okay, right? It may not be okay in all situations.
All right. So, Rob, we've got yet more studies that show that LLMs are not always as reliable as we would like them to be.
I think you're okay as long as you don't trust them on Earth. If you're on another planet, you might be good. But there is a really interesting article over on the Collective Intelligence Project, and it shows you just how unreliable LLMs are. In fact, they are reliably unreliable when used in sensitive areas like hiring and law and various measurement biases. They give you weird answers to things because they are biased as people, but they're still computers. So it just does weird little things with them. So just to go through some of the things here, the biases such as positional preferences, that is, for example, let's say that you like B more than A. So you always select B. These things will do it. Or you could have something like an order effect. For whatever reason, humans really like 4, 5, 6, and 7, not so much 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, and 10. Mm-hmm. The LLMs pick this stuff up too. So when you would think that the computer is not going to be biased, these large language models are just as biased as we are, in some cases even worse. So some of the issues that you run into is like LLMs are often, they will favor a second option when comparing items. Like I said, just a second ago, it likes B more than A. There's really no rhyme or reason as to why, but it selects it in some cases 69%
like maybe it thinks
more
it's
than
like
A.
That's the smarter option, right?
The order of scoring rules can confuse LLM. So if you were to, for example, say, I'm going to rank something from 1 to 10. Well, is 10 the best? Is 1 the best? If I give you a list, the list of 1 to 10, probably 10 is the best thing. But if I'm ranking them, 1 is probably the best thing. LLMs kind of struggle with that. So, there's a lot of this. Small changes in instructions can easily confuse these things. So just asking a question in a different way. I have a different dialect than other folks on this show. So I may ask the same question, but use my words, and asking the exact same question, but in a different way, slightly, could, make it be biased or unbiased towards me. So there's a lot of little things like this that LLMs face. And if you are using them to make decisions in your business, you've got to be really careful with it. There's a lot of research that went into this. They looked at multiple different models. They all kind of do it, not to the same degree on every single one, but they all have the same trends. And, some of the conclusions were you basically have to know what your biases are as, in your data sets so that you can counteract them when you are trying to get good data out of an LLM. Because if you can't do that, they're saying it is much better just to use regular old software that is not doing LLM stuff. It's just doing all the stuff we've been doing for the last 35, 40 years.
Yeah, what I really liked about this article is it's very rigorous. It's saying, hey, guess what? It's based on language. So all the biases the language have, yeah, they're there too. But we tested it to make sure. And here are things you can do to counteract that. They have a nice long list of like, the fact that 4, 5, 6, 7 tend to be biased towards in selection. Don't use ordinal numbers. Adopt more robust ranking methodologies. Design and stress test your classification schemas. Kind of develop categories that get you out of the biases of the model that you're working on. There's a lot of very difficult stuff that you need to do to make this work, but at least they're giving you options for that. And they even have code that will help you evaluate that they make available for free on GitHub. So this isn't a case of like, let's just bash the LLM. It's let's show you what's wrong, where the weaknesses are, and then help you figure out how to counteract them so you can use it in a way that's safe, or no, I can't use it for this. I'm going to use something else.
Yeah, one of the key points was that you need to know that there are these biases here. That's what they say. Once you know they're there, then you can counteract them with some of the tools that they're giving you and other tools that exist. But the problem is that if you don't know that they're there and you just, oh, well, it's a computer, how is it biased? That's where you can get into some real trouble, because I was thinking back to in high school, whenever you would take a test that was multiple choice and you didn't know the answer, you just selected C. We don't know why we selected C. Well, there's math that tells you that C is 41% of the answers on multiple, on multiple choice tests, significantly more than 25%. So the LLMs, if they've scanned all these tests, they get the exact same biases that the people who took the test, get. So you got to be careful. You have to understand how your data can be situated in an LLM so that you can counteract the biases that come to it.
The whole idea, you said, Rob, a few minutes ago of like 4, 5, 6, 7 ends up being the option that is chosen more often than 1, 2, 3, because I don't know, they just seem more obvious. Or then like 8, 9, 10, probably, the LLM is like, nobody wants those either. That is very interesting. That is interesting data that it doesn't necessarily mean anything. But it's like, if we're talking about the best banana that you can buy on the market type thing, it tastes the best and at the best price. Are we picking number 6 if you're an LLM? Because LLM's like, I think maybe this is the one.
Yeah. I know there's been some good psychological studies on why we do that, but if I'm guessing, you don't pick 1, 2, and 3 because you're waiting for more information. You're like, well, I don't want to make my choice too early. There might be better options down the line. And you don't pick 7, 8, 9 because you're like, well, now I'm just picking the last one I saw. Like, that might not be right. And so it feels better to pick somewhere in the middle because you feel like you're not being swayed, even though you're totally being swayed by always picking in the middle.
Well, and isn't that sort of, it's kind of the human condition where let's say you buy something online and the company says, hey, how did we do from 1 to 10? And, you pick something in the middle. Okay, you're like, It wasn't like the best service I ever had, but it wasn't the worst. Something in the middle.
You never want to pick
makes 1.
You never want to pick 5. It's always 3 or 4.
Right. But
4 if you're really happy.
Right. But researchers will tell you over and over, it's like either people say, I loved it, 5 stars, or I hated it, 1 star. The middle ground really isn't really what humans want to talk about.
We want binary choices in those cases. You're right. Yeah. We don't want 5.
And we think that LLMs are going to give us binary answers, and they don't, because what are they trained off of? They're trained off of us. They're trained off of the data that so if we always select option 2, why would the LLM that is trained off of your data not always select option 2 as well? If C is the most common answer, why would it not select C as the common answer? So these are the kind of things that this study goes through, and they're giving you like some really, really good options of how you can counteract the data. But it's very clear, if you don't know the biases in your data, they recommend that you actually use software that is not based on LLMs, that it's the old stuff we were using 3, 4, 5 years ago.
Yeah. Or other machine learning oriented things that aren't large language models. This is why I'm always like, let's not say AI if we know what kind it is, because large language models are different than other kinds of models. They're language models. So we shouldn't be too shocked that they're not good at logic because they're not large logic models. They're large language models. Well, folks, if you have feedback about anything that gets brought up on the show logically, linguistically, or otherwise, get in touch with us on the social networks. We are at DTNS Show on X, Instagram, Threads, Bluesky, and Mastodon. That's at DTNS Show. Or you can find us on TikTok and YouTube at Daily Tech News Show.
Well, people worry, some people anyway, worry whether automation will replace them. But some CEOs are actively replacing themselves, Tom. What is going on?
Yeah, we had two instances this week. On Wednesday, Zoom CEO Eric Yuan used Zoom clips to deliver the opening comments on his earnings call. Now, the point was Zoom said that it is making the custom avatar add-on feature available to all users this week. So he wanted to use that feature to show like, hey, look, I'm using it too. I look like myself, but you wouldn't know. It's not me. And then, he pulled off the mask, aka ended using clips and went back to normal. Earlier in the week, Klarna's CEO, Sebastian Siemiatkowski, Klarna's the buy now, pay later people. They're gearing up for an IPO. They're trying to promote how much AI has helped the company get users and revenue. And so he used a generated avatar in his earnings report as well. Some people noticed that he didn't blink a lot, and he's wearing the same jacket that is in all of his press photos that go out. But otherwise, it was pretty good. I don't know. Do we feel like this is disturbing or bad, or is it just kind of gimmicky? Well, I don't know. What do you think?
I mean,
Rob?
it's definitely gimmicky. That's what it is. I don't know. This doesn't bother me. If I was like, all right, as a casual user of Zoom, which I am, just wouldn't even really cross my desk. If I was an investor in Zoom, I might be like, well, what are we doing here? Is that going to somehow throw people off? Even though you're introducing a new tool that the company is, you're trying to show off the tool that is supposed to make everybody feel impressed.
Yeah, the Zoom one makes total sense to me in that respect.
You know what? The thing with so many of these positions, though, is a lot of it is sort of manicured anyway. So for me, it's just one level of sort of production to it that I don't know. It doesn't feel unsettling. It would feel unsettling if they used it to make like buying decisions or any sort of like operations with. Oh yeah,
this is just the appearance.
Yeah,
they're even doing the voice. They're not even simulating the voice. They're basically being VTubers.
Exactly.
Right.
But if it was like, we're this LLM is now going to make buying, hiring, strategic decisions 4 years down the line for the company. And then as an investor, it's like, wait a minute.
Well, Harvard Business Review did a study last year where they found that models a year ago mostly outperformed human CEOs unless there was a black swan event. In their simulation, when they threw like a COVID-19 scenario at it, then it failed and they had to fire it. But for day-to-day stuff, it worked pretty good. So I wonder if CEOs could just delegate the boring stuff, to an avatar.
I'm
not bothered by these.
Yeah.
I'm not bothered by these right now because they're telling you that they're artificial, that it's not them. Where I get concerned is that these things are getting really, really good, and we are not multiple years away. I think within a couple of years, that some of the stuff that is being AI generated will be indistinguishable from real. You simply can't just look at it and tell, and that's where it becomes alarming. I think like the catfishing that could happen.
Yeah.
When you can't tell, am I talking to a human? Am I talking to an AI? That is where stuff becomes problematic. And in this case here, where you actually could potentially have this making decisions that people do things off of, that becomes kind of concerning. So I was looking at some of these videos that came out of Google I/O, what they're doing with VO.
Oh yeah.
And if you don't know you're looking at AI, I mean, it takes you 5-6 seconds to realize, okay, that's a fake laugh. That was completely over the top. It takes you a minute to realize it. And here's what's happening now. We have folks that are on YouTube that are on, doing YouTube shorts, that are doing TikToks, that are doing Instagrams, where they're acting like the AI. They're talking in a little bit of an awkward way. They are overly hyped up about stuff. they're making it seem like they're AI. And when you, and I mean, even to the point where they will like, you know, they'll move a little bit slower, or they'll film themselves in a very, very low frame rate, so it looks kind of jumpy.
Yeah. What's the end goal?
It's funny.
It's funny.
Is it funny?
Yeah, it's funny. They're making fun of the AI, but it's funny. But the thing is, if you don't know, you can't tell the difference between what is AI and what is real.
So much of the public facing stuff, as I mentioned before, is already manicured produced. So whether it was the history of editing or doing makeup, or like there's all these things that we've done over the years in order to manage the appearance. I see this as the next step, but like, you know, the proof is in the pudding. If you can have like the most well kind of oiled PR machine with the best looking, you know, version of whatever or CEO, but if the results are terrible for the company, I mean, you know, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's not going to change your actual earnings report. That's a good point.
Also, you know, the whole idea of, you know, an avatar being you, but it's your voice, right? It's like, well, okay, we're not really trying to fool people all that much. I mean, maybe you could do that, but it doesn't seem like in these cases that was the essence of it. It was more of just like, hey, look at what's possible. For example, like, I had a morning call with a potential job yesterday, and they were like, "Oh, sorry, my video isn't working." It was like a Slack call, and I was like, "My video is not going to be turned on because it's
don't need
8
to see me
a.m.
for this,
and
so you
don't want to see this." Yeah, I'm like not even out of my pajamas.
If you had Zoom clips, you could have put up a version of yourself, and if it was socially acceptable, then people would be like, "Oh, okay, it's the avatar of Sarah. That's fine."
Yeah, like
I don't know if that's better than just having the camera off or not, though. Honestly.
Yeah, there are situations where I'm like, you know, that could actually be pretty helpful, and nobody's trying to fool anybody else. It's just sort of like, hey, you know, I don't look like this right this second, but you know, here's my avatar type thing.
I mean, you can get my facial responses that are accurately being tracked, but you don't have to see my hair. You don't have, like, you know, that's kind of the idea.
I can't think of this YouTuber's name, but there's a YouTuber out there that his videos, and they went super viral, but he had a whole green screen set up as a backpack that he would wear with a laptop strapped to the front, and he literally would be walking around a golf course while on a green screen doing a Zoom call. Now, clearly this is comedy that he's doing it, but it's not that far-fetched. This allows you to actually do that. You really could be on a golf course and use your avatar. Yeah. And as long as they don't hear people swinging and hitting balls, you know, they have no idea where you are.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, again, this is just the next generation of the, you know, when I was at a affiliate Fox station in Sacramento, the sports guy was like, you know, a sport coat and tie, but he was wearing shorts and, you know, sneakers underneath because you didn't see
now he doesn't even need the sport coat and the tie. He can just be an avatar. Yeah.
Right. It's cool stuff. What I'm waiting to see though is that when it's not an avatar, when it actually is just AI driven, to where now you just have an AI that looks like you and talks like you. I'm thinking of us. We have literally thousands of hours of video and audio that is recorded and on the internet. You could probably make a really good, a really good avatar that could,
pop that into VO3.
So. Yeah, this stuff is getting better and better. At what point are we going to be just this big simulation where basically your AI is talking to my AI and they're doing deals?
There will always be those cases where people want it to be clearly not AI, right? Mm-hmm. There's AI backlash already. That there's a section of the audience that will never want to consume it if they know it's AI. So there is that, but. Yeah, there's a lot of content can just be generated that people won't mind, especially like things like earnings calls or how-tos, you know, sometimes. I think you could just simulate those as long as they're accurate. I don't know.
Spokespeople.
Yeah, like, I don't know. What if you I don't know, had like you had a crazy basketball situation and you have a black eye and you're like, I can't do this. You know, the AI version of me is just... It's just, you know, everyone know that that's what's happening. Nobody's trying to like pull the wool over anyone's eyes.
Just like using makeup, but with digital.
Or a body.
Exactly. and
or
easier.
a body double, or
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we're going to get to the point where we no longer think of video as being representative. We know it can be simulated, and we will assume it's simulated unless we know otherwise.
Like, you can't have someone with year after year look exactly the same, even though, the real person's aged horribly due to whatever circumstance.
I have thoughts about this when I was watching the opening scene from Top Gun, the new one. Top Gun, what was it called?
Top Gun Maverick.
Maverick, thank you. And I was like, wait a second, Tom Cruise doesn't look like that. And my friend who was watching it, they were like, yeah, he does. And I'm like, no, he looked like that 20 years ago. I mean, come on, let's be honest. We all know how aging works. So yeah, I think there was some shenanigans going on.
Rob just hit 29.
I know.
Again.
I mean, oh my gosh, when you hit 30, Rob, I don't even know what to tell you. It's going to be rough.
Sarah doesn't even know yet.
No, and I never will.
Yeah,
Never will.
it's like a treadmill. You never get to the end.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You keep running, and you never get older. Yeah. It's kind of an interesting thing a lot of people don't know about.
It's a paradox.
All right. It is Friday, everybody, and that means the weekend is right around the corner, and we have a pop quiz to end our week here on DTNS Live. Roger, take it away.
At its I/O conference this week, Google unleashed a wave of products with vague or confusing or maybe very
a lot of names.
A lot of names.
As you mentioned very well yesterday on the show.
But the history of consumer products are filled with such, products and examples of products. So in this quiz, you'll be given a product name, and your goal is to figure out what kind of product it is.
Ooh, gosh. All right.
All right.
So
These
not
aren't from
Google
Google
products.
though.
These are not Google.
products.
I purposely tried to call out as much of the tech stuff as possible.
Okay.
Great.
I think it's
Great.
ironically, this is the first product. Well, sounds vaguely tech, but it's not. All right. Airwaves.
That is the new.
That is the name of the product.
Name
The name
is
Airwaves.
It's let's go with a newfangled air fryer.
Air fryer from Robb. Sarah.
I was going to say a fan or something.
Fan from Tom.
Well, those are both really
Airwaves.
good.
Airwaves.
From Dyson.
Airwaves from Dyson?
No, it's not from Dyson. I just made that Dyson part up.
Airway, yeah. No, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna hop on Rob's train. Something that is food related.
It's true. It is food related.
Oh. Well, then it's not. It's not a fan.
Could
Well,
be.
an air fryer. Yeah.
Air fryer.
Yeah, like a microwave.
Microwave, air fryer, Sarah. All right. Very close. Actually, not close at all. It's chewing gum.
Yeah, that's not even
Airwaves?
close. That's
It's
not
chewing
close in
gum.
any way.
So yeah.
It's
Ride the
chewing gum
Menthol and eucalyptus chewing gum.
It is
called
a
airwaves. What in
it
the
is a
heck is
gum
happening
produced
in
by
that marketing
Wrigley.
department?
and it's sold primarily in Europe and East Asia. The gum has seen rapid, because of its special blend of menthol, it's actually helps relieve some cold symptoms for short periods. However, there is a bit of a thing on online, like you can't chew too much of it because it has a laxative property in large quantities.
Yeah, probably
One
because
won't be having
there's
airwaves, or I'll be having
there's
other kinds of waves.
aspartame in it.
Yeah. Airwaves for chewing gum.
Sugar-free
Makes sense as
chewing
long as
gum.
you don't think about it.
That's right.
I mean, the
Makes perfect
idea
sense.
of something being like menthol, like that sounds like chewing gum to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't,
I like my
I'm not
gum like
totally
I like
sure
my
what Airwaves
cigarettes.
is doing besides making us all poop a lot.
But airwaves, see, like it's a fresh breath of. It could be a cultural thing that
They were going to name it
when
Cool
I hear
Gum.
menthol, I'm thinking of like Cool Lights, Ultra,
Yep.
Yeah,
Salems or
thanks.
something.
Like
I don't know if
menthol
you're right,
is
but-
always automatically, at least from people I've talked to, with cigarettes and nothing else. Although cough drops was the one for older people because of
Oh
the
yeah,
menthol cough drops.
mentholyptus.
What about like
Mentholyptus.
Campho-Phenique? Like that's menthol.
Is it
What is?
I think so.
Campho-Phenique, the medicine for like mosquito bites and itchy?
Yeah, and you like rub it in and
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
All right. Product number 2. This is very descriptive. Young people.
Oh, well, I don't know anything about that. Actually, I do because I'm only 29. Oh, yeah.
Right.
So what did we all talk about?
So what product is called young people that isn't actually made of people? Is what
Yeah,
we're
it
trying
is.
to figure out.
Here, I'll tell
What
you
if
what
it
it's
is
not.
made of
It's
people?
not a food. It's not an electronic gadget.
It's not food or an
it's
electronic
not Soylent
gadget.
Green.
Yes.
Young people. Is it
Is
a
it a
vitamin?
furniture?
It is health related.
It's health related. Is it like
Young
Glucosamine
people.
supplement.
Young people.
right? Yeah. Let's help our
Dimetap.
knees
I
be a
don't
little
know.
What
bit
if
better.
you
sort of
say
health
it's not
issues
food,
did you
I think
have
it's-
as a young people?
If you say it's not food, I think it's not a supplement. What
As a
did you say,
young
Roger?
people, I'm like, I eat garbage. That's
Yeah,
what
but
I
it's
do.
not food.
when
It's
I'm
not
young.
food. Remember, it's not food. So
What was
But-
the hint
and
you
it's
just
not
gave?
it's not a vitamin, but it's health related.
it's health related, but it's not a food. It's not something you ingest.
And the
It's not
name of the
something-
food is, or the name of the thing is young people.
Young people.
Is it a bicycle?
Not a bad guess.
Now, it's a good guess, but not.
Okay.
I was just thinking, you know how we have animal crackers, but for your pet, you have people crackers. That's kind of morbid. To
Oh,
eat,
no, yeah,
eat
no.
your children. Yeah, it's for your
When
pet.
you were when you were younger people, what kind of health issues did you have?
None.
Yeah, I was young and
Hangovers.
healthy.
I don't know. I got the flu every once in a while. Ooh, is it like a flu remedy?
Yeah, we're going to need more hints, man.
No.
Yeah,
It's,
it's not a
okay.
bicycle. It's not food. What the heck?
It's a health product that you would get in a pharmacy.
But it's
Like
not
a flu
ingestible?
remedy.
It's not ingestible. Think of a drugstore. They sell it. Think of a
Was
CVS
it like a
or Walgreens.
prophylactic?
Is it Band-Aids?
Close. It goes on your skin. Young people. What kind of health condition? Young people. Health condition. Skin.
Acne?
Ah.
Oh,
It
I
is
see.
a anti-acne moist towelette.
Okay. All right. All right.
Young people.
Well, you
Oh,
really,
it's
you really
old.
meandered
It's
onto
old.
that
It's like
one.
from the 50s or
Yeah.
60s.
60s.
Introducing the new acne fighter that washes clean and medicates your face.
That is
Young
a
people.
horrible name. Young people for acne cleaner.
I haven't even
That's
gotten
really
to the
bad.
horrible
Also,
names
like
one.
for the rest of us, we're like we still get zits. It's like I don't want to buy anything called young people. Come
Young
on.
people. Yeah. Do they have another version called old people?
yeah, yeah. You know, wise people. That would be
over
a
the
good
hill
one.
people rub it every night.
Golden
All right.
age people.
All right, product number 3. This one will throw you for a loop. SARS.
Okay. Not to be
SARS.
confused with the,
Not the
Like the
respiratory
communicable.
virus.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, respiratory
that's-
However,
virus.
I'll say this: it is something ingestible. It is something people ingest.
and it's
crackers.
called SARS.
SARS.
Yeah, some kind of
Yes.
wheat cracker.
All right, Tom's wheat cracker.
Like some, yeah.
Something you
Oh
ingest.
gosh, I don't even know.
SARS.
I'm
Ingest.
SARS. Like, why would you know? Okay. What would I
Off-brand
even?
jelly beans.
Jelly beans. That's interesting.
SARS jelly beans.
It is
Now
yeah,
available
yeah.
in communicable disease flavor.
So jelly beans from Robb, basically confectionery from Robb. Tom, a cracker.
Cracker, some kind of cracker.
Sarah,
I'm
SARS.
gonna go.
Imagining some
I'm gonna
Middle
go.
Eastern
I'm gonna
brand.
go with lotion.
Ooh, good one.
I mean, you could use it that way.
Just rub some
well, you're all wrong.
SARS.
Although Robb was the closest, it's actually it's a brand of root beer.
Oh.
SARS root beer?
Golden Circle. Sorry.
Wow.
Wait, how is Rob closest to this?
Because he picked a
it
confectionery
sweet?
item, and
Yeah.
soda is
Fine.
parallel.
Golden Circle SARS root beer. Like sarsaparilla? Is that
Yes,
where they're
it's a
going?
contraction of sarsaparilla. They come
sarsaparilla.
down with SARS.
Got
Okay.
it.
All right,
How
all right.
All right,
clever.
all right. This one, the fourth one is a little more on the nose. Actually, no, it's not.
Well,
AIDS.
We'll see.
AIDS?
AIDS?
Spelled with a Y.
Yes, spelled with a Y.
AIDS. Okay.
Yeah.
You need to make that
Okay.
clear right off
It's
the
spelled
top.
We're not talking about
AIDS.
HIV right now. We're
No,
talking
no,
about
no, no.
something called AIDS.
Yes.
Okay.
Health product. I'll say this. I'll give you a hint. Health product.
Hearing aids.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
hearing
no,
aids is a
totally.
very good guess.
Hearing.
Or like over-the-counter hearing aids, because I
Okay.
don't think a company that would sell them for a couple grand would ever name them aids.
I was thinking lemonades, but I think you're right, Rob. I think it's.
I think you're right too. I will just say, like, I don't know, like pharmacy readers glasses.
Close.
just
I mean,
to
these
do
are all
something
really
different.
good. These are all really good.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
honestly, that's kind of what I led, but it turned out to be a weight loss product. AIDS, appetite suppressant.
appetite suppressant. It's like an appetite aid.
So
and
it's
and it was
meth.
it was still
methamphetamine.
around in the 80s and when the AIDS thing. So they a health issue came up, so they tried to rebrand it. They had Slim AIDS. They called it Slim AIDS to kind of give you the idea, but it didn't really take off.
So
The
the copy on this ad.
It's a tough title. Tough title.
The copy on this ad says today's AIDS candy is different. We've added a powerful appetite suppressant. So was it not an appetite suppressant?
It was
originally. It was just candy.
It wasn't medically. It wasn't. They didn't have an appetite suppressant in it, but you used it as a way to kind of do
eat
something.
too much of the
besides
candy, and then you
eating.
just won't eat other things.
It was just a way to
Yeah,
lose weight,
right?
Yeah. So, all right, this next one. Actually, I don't know if it'll be too confusing. Elephant, beautiful balls.
Are you? There's a product called that.
I'm sorry.
For
I'm
real?
sorry. Please back up. Elephant beautiful balls
Yes.
is the
It is an actual product. I actually had to go through this a couple of times, but I had to leave it in because
Wow.
Is this some kind of decorative, like Christmas ornament?
it is,
Like-
or it is somewhat very
ornamental.
or
Yeah.
not ornamental. I mean, you use it in a pastime, in a sort of a game pastime.
Oh, it's not decorative.
No.
So like tennis.
Is it bowling?
Close, Tom. It is a sport with a ball.
Bocce
All right.
ball?
Beautiful or elephant, beautiful balls.
So elephant is the name of the company.
We
Beautiful
know
Balls
we
is-
know what the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roger just likes saying it. I
What?
understand.
yeah he's having.
I mean,
fun.
that's the name of the product. I don't. You're ascribing
well, so it's
motives
not
to me.
tennis and it's not bowling.
It's not bowling.
Yes.
It's
And
not
it's not
bocce ball. It's
bocce
not
because
tennis.
you would have said bocce.
What other?
Is
What
it-
other?
is
What
like a
other?
10
What
pack
other?
of the ball that you bounce when you play jacks?
No, it is.
Ooh,
It is.
that's a good
This is a game of gentlemen.
Kickball?
A game of gentlemen.
Yes.
Croquet?
where
No
you
game.
would you would be
Croquet
drinking.
ball.
Gentlemen.
You would be drinking scotch or whiskey while you were doing
So
Golf.
not croquet.
Golf.
close. A lot more older people involved, although people who also
What is
drink a
older
lot.
than golf? Okay.
Bocce ball?
It's something that you can hustle people with.
Pool.
Pool.
Yes. Billiard balls.
Billiard balls.
Okay.
That's not close
all
to
right.
golf at all. That
I was just thinking.
What is happening, Roger?
So the whole idea behind the name Elephant Beautiful Balls is that back in the olden days, ivory was the preferred material to make billiard balls.
okay.
And so-
I get it. I get
Uh,
it.
So and ivory comes from elephants, and they
All
make
right.
beautiful balls.
That all
Got
makes
it.
sense now.
I got
you
it.
can
All right,
explain it
this
to
one
your
that all
5-year-old.
this next one is I don't know. All right, product number 6, Mini Poo.
That is the action figure size Winnie the Pooh
That's where exactly where I was going with
A Mini Poo.
Minnie the Pooh.
with the Kung Fu grip.
Mini poo.
Or a pillow. Very small pillow.
Or maybe something toilet related?
It is hygiene related. Hygiene related.
Hygiene related.
Oh, like
Mini
cotton
poo.
balls?
Would it
Think
be
of
like
all
like,
the products that have that suffix in it.
Are they like wipes for your child?
No,
Like diaper wipes?
no.
Is it like the little like the thing that you put your feet on if you want to do like a
Oh yeah. No. So
No,
you can
it's not
squat
that. Okay.
without using
Yeah.
a squat toilet.
right. Yeah, like the squatty potty, I think.
Yeah.
So okay. Mini
Think of all the stuff in your bathroom and think of the products
Cotton
that end
balls,
with
Q-tips,
that end with poo. that end with
K-beauty
poo in the
products.
name.
Nothing ends with poo.
Yeah.
Ends with poo.
Nothing
Ends
in my
with poo.
Shampoo.
Kid shampoo.
Yeah.
Shampoo.
It's a
There's
dry.
one product in my bathroom that ends in poo.
It's a dry shampoo product.
Mini poo. It's all one word.
I
Oh,
see.
interesting.
Yeah.
She has a
don't wanna wash your
cold and
hair,
shouldn't
but you got the
shampoo,
mini
but she
poo.
found out just what to do. Mini poo. When
Yeah.
you can't shampoo. Oh, it's like leave-in. You
Yeah,
don't have
you've
to
never.
wash it out.
I used to use it for the kids when they wouldn't get.
I
into
never
the
used
shower.
mini poo before, but I have used leave-in shampoo.
I mean, my kids would also leave a mini poo, but that's
did
a
you
different
use
story.
mini poo?
No,
Or a
there's
different
a
brand?
there's a different one my wife uses. It's kind of weird. You leave it in, but because at some point kids are very obstinate about getting wet to clean their bodies, and so you have to find alternate methods. All right. Question 7. This one's a little more relevant. Oh, not relevant. A little more contemporary naming. Android, but it's not a technology. Or
But
a
not
gadget.
the operating system.
Yeah.
Okay.
Android, but not a technology or a gadget.
Is it the OS?
He's not
Not a
the operating-
technology
Not the
or-
Oh,
operating
okay.
system.
Android. Oh gosh, I don't know. A comb.
Whatever it is, they probably should change the name because I can't come up with anything without thinking of Google
Thinking
or
of
a phone
Google,
right
right.
now. Yeah, they've
It
pretty much
was a
taken that
product
name over.
from the 80s, or it was pre 80s, but it was still around in the 80s. For men, it was a product for men.
Was it like a beard trimmer?
That's actually not a bad idea.
I'm
But
only
wrong.
29, Roger.
Okay.
I was born in '96, man. So you know.
Oh yeah, that's right. Probably after
Yeah.
your
we're
way
very
before your
young,
time.
Roger.
It is something you get at the drugstore for men, for a male issue.
A male issue. So it's not
Yeah.
cologne. That's where
No.
I was going.
Yeah.
Android, the scent that makes
male
you
issue?
emotionless.
Yes,
And it's
Is it
not
like,
a
is it
beard
like that
trimmer.
stuff that you sprinkle in your hair to like make your hair thicker where you're balding?
Ooh.
oh, that's actually a good idea. Yeah, it's no, it's not that, but it is. It does make something grow.
Is it a
That,
medicine?
But no.
Yes,
Like
it
a-
is a medication.
like a steroid?
It is.
Android?
It is a men only thing that typically you
Is
could
it
get.
something for like virility?
Yes,
Is-
Okay.
Oh, from
So
the 80s?
That's.
it's.
Is it like well, I don't even
Yes.
want to explain it any more than
yes.
that.
It's
I'm
basically.
right,
Yes,
I'm
You're,
right.
you're right. It's basically an anti-impotence.
Oh, it's
Got it.
before.
I'm an
what's its-
android. Woo.
Yeah. No, and
Yeah.
it's for the yeah. It's for the,
Erectile dysfunction.
all right.
Oh boy. This is
You put it in the quiz, Roger. Don't
yeah,
be
I
embarrassed.
That is out.
you know.
No. You're right. It's for the androgen gene.
I
whatever
see.
yeah,
Got
you
it.
know.
Android.
Now I can't remember
Androgen.
the current one that's everyone talks about.
Cialis.
Nope, Cialis? For
Cialis
erectile?
is an impotent thing. Yes. Don't ask me how I know.
No, but what's
I
the
do.
one everyone always says?
Viagra.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
I could not think of that.
I think Cialis is that the most recent. All right. The last one. This one will be.
We're all. It's a little too much.
I
Man
mean, this
behind
is
the curtain,
this is
but
really
okay,
just a
let's go.
little short. This is a little mini course on bad product naming. All right, the last one is force.
It's called
Got to give us some
force.
hints, man.
Force.
Yeah.
It is a food item. It is the food item. Force.
Oh, force. It's a
It is from the early 1900s. Force.
it's like a Metamucil thing, like a fiber.
Yeah, there is fiber in it. Yes.
Force.
Force.
Oh my God, fiber and force together. I don't like that idea. That
And
sounds
you said it's an 1800s
hurtful.
thing?
Like early 1900s.
Early 1900s?
It's called force. It's from the
There
early 1900s.
there is fiber in it. There's plenty of fiber in it. Yes.
Well, is it?
But it's not fiber.
It's not sold as fiber. It's sold
Right.
as part of this meal, morning meal.
Oh.
Oatmeal.
Cereal?
Yeah, cereal. Wow. Force cereal.
Force
cereal.
produces cheerfulness because proper. Oh, okay.
Yikes.
Did it turn into Cheerios at some point?
No, it kept being forced for actually quite some time. I think up until the 30s.
I've never seen force. As a
Never
cereal.
heard of it.
She showed how force gave mental trim. it said on that ad.
This was actually
I will
part
say
of
though that like if Force works as advertised, that could be something that you would have in your cabinet here and there.
I will say this was a period of time where Kellogg's started, Dr. Kellogg's, the whole thing, like the whole wellness cycle of what people ate. So a lot of the breakfast food, cornflakes, bran flakes, and all that came out of sort of a therapeutic / good health ideology that sort of permeated.
Would you say that was a force multiplier?
Yes. Yes. All right. Yeah, that's all I got.
Goodness gracious. This was fun. Thank you, Roger, for one of the weirdest
fun.
quizzes we've ever had.
Definitely.
Just
I
remember,
think everyone
product
learned a
naming
little
is very
something.
important.
About ourselves and everyone else.
And about marketing.
Speaking about learning about everyone else, let's check out the mailbag.
Caleb, aka Geeko Supremo, writes, in the discussion of the no-screen AI interface, the most ubiquitous vision of that future is Star Trek. In Star Trek The Next Generation, there was the ever-present computer, and on basically every surface of the Enterprise NCC 1701D, there was an available screen. The thing that I always thought was kind of interesting was the computer would be given a prompt for a solution while the main crew member kept their eyes focused on the task at hand on the screen/surface. Desperately important when you need to lock down a warp core breach. So an auxiliary device that could have knowledge of the wider situation and communicate with the human in a visual way seems kind of ideal. Just my 2 chips of gold pressed latinum. Thank you, Caleb. That's really good.
Makes perfect sense.
Indeed.
Wait, it was gold pressed latinum? This entire time I thought they were saying cold pressed latinum.
Gold. Yeah, you didn't really?
I thought it was cold. I thought that was just like, you slammed it
Like
together.
cold pressed.
like
Yeah.
cold pressed
Gold
coffee?
pressed,
Yeah, no, I get it. That kind of makes sense when you think about it. Yeah.
'Cause, like,
Remember,
gold wasn't
everyone,
scarce.
you can send in your comments to feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. Everything we talk about, everything we might talk about in the future, we want to hear your voices. Please do send those emails in.
One way we hear your voice is in our title selection. There is like a 16-way tie for the title today. The votes are very evenly distributed, but at the top of the list, Showbot put, Nick with a C's, happy birthday, Rob!
Yay! Happy birthday, Rob!
Yeah.
Yeah. We also have, you don't have to type every thought from the Reverb mic.
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
That's a really good one. The Not Google Products quiz from Zoe Brings Bacon. Young people need to medicate their faces from Saray TW.
Oh, wow.
Also Saray with, Roger, say it again. What kind of balls?
Elephant beautiful balls. Listen, there's nothing more beautiful than elephant beautiful balls.
Stealth Dave
It's
already
true.
got in cold pressed latinum. What else we got? Reliably unreliable LLMs.
Mm-hmm.
AI CEO and GPT was its name-o from E. Clay Thomason.
Oh, yeah. Bingo. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it, E-Clay.
CEO bots from C-Spawn. What do we go with, Sarah?
We went with Zoe's reliably unreliable LLMs.
Indeed, we did. Thank you, Zoe Briggs Bacon, and everybody who submitted titles at showbot.tv. Also, big thanks to everybody who watches us on LinkedIn, watches on YouTube, watches on Twitch. C-Spawn cheered us with 100 bits today. Nainu back at Tier 1 for the 35th month, 36 months overall. I Wear Later Hosen resubscribed for 3 months at a time at Tier 1. They've been subscribed for 3 months. Back for month 3, like an unpatched router, still wide open for hot tech takes and Tom's soothing dulcet tones. If this stream were a software update, I'd click Remind Me Tomorrow just to keep the good bugs. Aw, I kind of like that. Larry in Atlanta resubscribed for the 54th month. Zoe Brings Bacon with some bits. C-Pot's 50 back for the 61st month. Thanks, everybody, for supporting us in all the various ways, including patreon.com/DTNS. Now, before we get out of here, Tom's Top 5, brand new one, breaking down the top 5 things you need to know about technology. And this week, smartphone myths. Some stuff that, if you believe, maybe you should not believe. Go check out the smartphone myths at Daily Tech News Show on TikTok and Instagram and youtube.com/Daily Tech News Show.
You can watch us live here on DTNS Live, Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 2000 UTC. Thanks you to everybody who joins us live, although you can join us after the fact as well. You can find out more at dailytechnewsshow.com/live. Monday is a holiday in the U.S., so we will see you back here on Tuesday. Have a great weekend, everybody.
This week's episodes of Daily Tech News Show Live were created by the following people. Producer and host Sarah Lane. Host Tom Merritt. Host Robb Dunewood. Producer Roger Chang. Video producer Joe Kuntz. Producer at large Anthony Lemos. Social media producer and moderator Zoe Detterding. Our mods: Beatmaster, W. Scottus1, BioCow, Captain Kipper, Steve Guadarrama, Paul Reese, Matthew J. Stevens, aka Gadget Virtuoso, and JD Galloway. Mod and video hosting by Dan Christensen. Music provided by Martin Bell and Dan Looters. Art by Len Peralta. Acast ad support from Tatiana Matias. Patreon support from Tom McNeil. Contributors for this week's show included Justin Robert Young, Patrick Norton, and Scott Johnson, and our guest this week was Robb DeMillo. Thanks to all our patrons who make the show possible.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Get more at frogpants.com.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.